Hey guys, it's Saturday, January 29th, I think, or 30th. And this is Kyle or Vulcan Wolverine. Again, I've been getting a lot of comments on like what I use for defense. So I just want to go through everything because there are a lot of comments. I don't want to have to answer all the comments. I'm really trying, but I get a lot of comments and a lot of people who want to talk to me. And like like that's awesome. And like I really do want to help as many people as I can, but it's a lot of stuff. And I'm trying to do the whole torture every second of the day and kind of live a normal life. So be patient with me. Don't think that I'm trying to avoid you. Don't think that I'm trying to be paranoid, because the thing is, when you talk to other target individuals, like, I have a system set up to where I can make sure that, so I'm not worried, I'm not paranoid about perps like talking to me or anything, because I would know anyway. Like, you can kind of tell once you're a target individual for a while. But I'm really trying to get to all the comments. Seriously, I'm trying to call the people back who email me. But I want to make this video just saying what I do. Okay, I guess the easiest thing you can do, number one, if you don't have a lot of money, say you only have like 15 bucks or 20 bucks, go to Walmart and get thermal blankets. They're for camping trips, and it's like an aluminum polyester. So if you can't do anything and you don't have a lot of money, go into Walmart and buying some of those thermal blankets. Maybe somebody gave me an idea. It wasn't my idea. It was putting them, like, maybe cutting a comforter open and stuffing the comforter full of those thermal blankets and then putting it over you when you sleep. That's the cheapest thing that will buffer some stuff out. It may only buffer at 5%, 5 to 10%, but that is a percentage that you're gaining. So kind of off of my video, Thin Red Line, you've got to grab as much percentage points of buffering as you can. So I don't have any thermal blankets in my place right now because I'm trying to keep it as normal as possible. But I'm thinking of getting some to buffer it just that much more. The thing that really works, that's the cheapest and works the best, so this is number two. Thermal blankets are number one, and these are just things that I've tried. So experiment with things that are, say, they're scientifically proven. Look stuff up on Amazon.com. Look up EMF protection. Look up lessemf.com. Go to qwave.com. Go to Altera.com, which is AULTERRA.com, and they have a lot of things to block EMF, which is what we're getting hit with. We're getting hit with electromagnetic frequencies. So number one, thermal blankets, and you can buy a lot of those and pile them on top of you, or kind of put them around your bed. That's the cheapest thing you can do. Now I want to show you. These are my plugs. This is the cheapest and most effective thing that I found. I hope you can see those. Now, I had these plugs in my house. I had them in like every plug in the house, and it really buffered all the remote stuff and some of the ground weapons they were shooting at me. Now I'm in a situation where it's just remote. Like, people around me do kind of do the vehicular harassment and stuff like that, but there's nobody around me shooting ground weapons or that have a remote station. It's still the guy across the city who was shooting me in my house, because he's built so many weapons up and he's ex-army. So he's kind of kept it with himself, and he's gonna try and destroy me remotely or whatever. But the plugs I have, I have plugs here in the kitchen. I have plugs over here. Now, when you buy plugs, buy Altera whole house plugs. You can either buy them from Altera or you can buy them from Amazon.com. I tried the E-Link plugs and I talked to the Altera people about it. And the E-Link plugs are very, very weak or don't work at all. I think it's because they cover 1,500 feet, so they're very, very weak. I would suggest Ultera whole house plugs. And the company Ultera is very nice. They're pretty small, so they can really work with you. They've heard about targeting, so you can explain that you need plugs to kind of protect you from that, and they're kind of getting with that. So number two, Ultera whole house plugs, and I would just put them around your house. Start off small, maybe buy 2 plugs for $100 off of Amazon.com, and then kind of work from there. See how much it helps you. But that's the thing that's the cheapest, most effective thing, and you don't have to worry about where the remote stuff is coming from, at what angle, or if there are ground weapons coming from the side, because these things make the place where you live, they make it a big field to buffer that stuff. So Ultera whole house plugs, number 2, and that's going to gain you, 30 to 40% if you get a bunch of them, and you kind of keep up with these people. That's going to gain you a lot of buffering. That's going to gain you a lot of comfort. So those are definitely worth it. That's what I would recommend for the least amount of money and the most effective thing. Now I want to go to number 3. Number 3, go to lessemf.com. The garments that you can buy, hats. There's even like a chainmail thing you can put around your neck and your head and your chest, which like I may try out. That's going to be the most effective thing after the plugs, especially if you're just being hit remotely. Those things are a little bit more expensive than the plugs and a little bit less effective on the whole when you're in your house, but they give you kind of a buffering and defense when you go out. Like, so if you're being hit in your car or you're going to work and getting hit, those things, they give you a lot of power there. Like hats, just go to lessemf.com, and garments. Some of the hoodies really do block it and buffer it. So lessemf.com, the garments on there, because they weave in a metal mesh into this stuff, and this blocks a lot of the remote neural monitoring, a lot of the directed energy stuff if it's remote. And if it's on your body, then the angles that they come at really don't matter either. So now that's 3. Now I want to show y'all some things that... Oh, and then number 4. Now this is the cheapest thing you can get that will be strong enough to protect you when you go out, when you're being hit remotely and you're not in your house. You want to get the QA personal defenders. Like, I've got a bunch. I've got like 5 on my body. These are QA personal defenders. I've had them for a long time. They really work remotely and in your house, but they're $300 a piece. So that's not a cheap alternative, but it does work and it does buffer stuff. So that's 4. And let's see. Then number 5 is going to be these plates. And you see I have these plates in my room. Like, I have my plates. I saved them from the fire. And they are not cheap. They're $500 a piece. You see I've got a bunch. Now, the thing with these is that at my house, I had them right by the guy's weaponry, so it really worked out for some reason, really good. In the place I'm at, he's hitting me remotely, and they're not, and they're hitting me in the chest right now, so give me a second. Okay, so they're not as effective when you're being hit remotely, but I can't tell sometimes because the guy has heavy duty directed energy weapon stuff, like military kind of grade. He's pumped it up over 4.5 years. So I know the plates do help a little bit. They probably cut it down by like 20 to 30%. But you have to place them right. And the thing about the plates is if you have them in a place, these people can hit you in an angle, kind of go around the plates. If you're downstairs and they're upstairs, the plates are upstairs, they can kind of work around those. Your attackers can work around those. So you really, if you have somebody right by you and you know where their weapons are at and they're hitting you, through your wall, the plates are good because you can place them and deter them. But if they're hitting you remotely, the plates are hard to deal with because it's not going to be as effective on that stable stream that's coming down remotely. This thing I want to show y'all. So these are regular plates over here, and I have some plugs in the walls too. So I'm using a bunch of stuff. I'm using the hat, I'm using the plates, I'm using plugs in my wall. The plugs are very good because I had about 5 taken out accidentally just by my roommates and friends, and I mean they were nailing me in the head so hard that I was like, man, this is it. I can't defend myself. Then I got them back in. The problem with the plugs, there is one problem, is that it does take time. They will immediately start working, but it takes about a week for them to really warm up, and then 3 weeks for them to get at full strength. Then I want to show y'all, yeah, and see, they still hit me, but it would be a lot worse if I didn't have this stuff. And I'm still gaining inches. I'm still thinking of things. I'm going to leave the copper mesh until the end because it's super expensive and it only gained me about a 5% help. And I'll tell you why at the end. But this thing I wanted to show y'all, and I have a bunch of comic books in my room. I had to move them in here after the fire. This thing right here is a briefcase. You see, you can close it up. It's called the Sentinel. And it's like the power of 2 or 3 plates. This I bring to work with me, and I put it by me at work, and it really helps, especially if you're out and about. Like my remote stuff when I go out and about is a lot weaker because I think they have to follow me around, especially in the car or at the office. They're not prepared for those areas, and I think they have to switch up the radar some. Now when I come to my house, it's very powerful, not because I have people shooting me around me, but because this is a place where they target frequently and they're used to it, and they can get a lot of power. These are just my theories about it. But this briefcase, it's $1,000 from Q-Wave, so it's not financially feasible. But you can bring it to work. It's just a little briefcase. So if you do have some money, it really does help you remotely. I would buy a personal defender before I'd buy this briefcase. But these are expensive options. The ones towards the end are more expensive. The Q-Wave options are more expensive. Hopefully in time they'll have more powerful stuff and it will be cheaper. Now then the last thing, so we got the thermal blankets, we got the thermal blankets, then we got the household plugs, which I think are the best thing for your buck. Then you've got personal defenders, which is the next best thing for your buck, especially if you're going out a lot and you're getting hit remotely. Then you got the Q-Wave plates, which work in certain situations, but even if you're getting hit remotely, they will give you 30 to 40%, decrease. So with all this stuff, I've probably decreased my attacks, like 75%. And I'm getting hit with 25% electromagnetic frequencies. If I slip up, it's a little bit more. That 25% still really hurts because my guy, he's amped up, his attacks. He's at it more. He really, he doesn't see any of this stuff as like, oh, this guy's stopping it peacefully, I'm going to go ahead and stop. He just wants to get past it and keep hurting me. So you got the thermal blankets, the Altera whole house plugs, number 2, number 3, the personal defenders. Then you got number 4, tabletop defenders, which are way expensive. And I skipped the lessemf.com. That was number 3. So number 4, personal defenders. Then number 5, the plates. Then number 6, the copper mesh that